Test.
Before the official ceremony starts, the parade commander, Colonel Mark Burns, will form up the troops. Your kindly request not to...
Şafile paktiş tamir.
Celebration ceremony. I am Major Stephen Lemire and will guide you through the ceremony.
Allah tamam.
Ladies and gentlemen, the NATO flag will be hoisted to the sounds of the NATO anthem. I may ask you to remain standing.
Parade! Attention! Honor guard! Reason! Arms! Hoist the NATO flag! Honor guard! Order! Arms! Parade! Stand at east!
Please be seated. The Commander KFOR, Major General Lorenzo Daddario, will now address the audience.
Mr. President, Prime Minister, Admiral, Excellencies, dear guests, comrades, when I think of Pristina in 1999, I remember a sense of despair and fear, but also a feeling that the worst was over after those disastrous months of war. Many were displaced, and there was a lack of security and basic services. Our feeling was one of having a very important mission, so close to our home countries, yet so far away in terms of opportunities that we could enjoy and people here could not. We were part of an unprecedented gathering of nations, a force strong in its commitment to intervene on the ground to make a difference, despite all challenges. Under the command of the Allied Rapid Reaction Corps, eventually, around 50,000 soldiers from 39 countries came to Kosovo from all over the world. Today, we stand in grateful memory of those who gave their lives for this important mission. We want to honor the service and the sacrifice of these men and women. Their dedication to the mission is the legacy of an enduring commitment which NATO and non-NATO countries have continued to provide in the last 20 years, notwithstanding other pressing commitments. KFOR has ensured security and freedom of movement for all, hence providing the condition for restarting services, political and civil life, working together with the other international organizations and missions in our capacity of international security present as mandated by the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1244. As a result, nowadays Kosovo is a very different place from 20 years ago. Kosovo has seen 20 years of peace and development. This progress did not come from free. In the years, more than 200 comrades lost their lives serving with KFOR. The story of commitment and dedication to the people and the security of the region, these chapters that we continue to write together were written with sweat, toil, and generous passion, and at times, unfortunately, with blood. But it is a worthy cause. Kosovo is witnessing the development of a vibrant society. The path is full of challenges, and yet many difficulties will need to be overcome. But as I look back, I see no more people running for their lives, rather citizens ready to pursue their well-being and build the future of their children. There are frustrations and hard choices, even temporary setbacks, but a society is in the making, increasingly benefiting from the investment of the international community and from the opportunities that this wonderful European continent can offer to its people. There is more to be accomplished. Nevertheless, recent political developments in the Balkans mark a path to progress and integration that we can follow. Reconciliation with the past requires courage to compromise that can only come with vision and dedication to the people and their future. We cannot be blind to the challenges, but must not lose sight of the future, continuing to look ahead and building on the progress made so far. So much is there to do yet, so many goals yet to achieve, but we collectively owe it to those who gave their lives. It is the time for all the people in Kosovo to commit to lasting reconciliation. This can be done if we stay true to the vision, focus on the future, encouraged by positive developments, and avoid falling trap to entrenching rhetoric. In these months as KFOR, I have experienced the international community's firm commitment to Kosovo and the warmth of all institutions. KFOR Nation's effort will continue to ensure that the clock is never wound backwards and that the legitimate aspirations of a brighter and prosperous future for all the people are met. We are willing to continue to provide our services to the people, impartially and passionately, to stay on the path of the enormous progress so far achieved. People deserve it, and they will have it. Today, we commemorate our fallen comrades. We, the soldiers and civilians of KFOR, honor their memory. We honor them best by continuing to provide the same commitment, impartially and passionately, as they did, a commitment to promoting conditions of stability and well-being for all.
The parade will now observe a minute's silence to reflect on the sacrifices of our fallen comrades and their families. This will be followed by a fusillade salute by the Polish Honor Guard. The parade commander will call the parade to attention.
Parade! Attention!
The significance of the fusillade salute is to honor the passing of a soldier. As a general gesture of mourning and remembrance, 3 rifle volleys are fired. All the rifles are fired in unison, and this is repeated 3 times. The 3 volleys are believed to have originally represented the Holy Trinity. You are requested to remain silent.
Parade! Standard! East!
You may be seated. The Commander, Joint Forces Command, Naples Admiral James Fogo will now address the audience.
Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for your presence here today. You honor the fallen and KFOR and NATO, so I appreciate very much your coming, as well as ambassadors, ministers, faith leaders, fellow flag and general officers, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my distinct honor to be here with such a distinguished audience today, an audience that is committed to fostering continued peace and progress in Kosovo. It is precisely NATO's 20 years of commitment that we honor and reaffirm today. Last week, I joined thousands of people on the beaches of Normandy to commemorate the 75th anniversary of D-Day. That was an operation of epic proportions. Casualties were heavy on both sides. The steadfast commitment of so many soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines defeated tyranny and liberated Europe. Born out of the horrors of the Second World War, people of the world came together to form the United Nations. Its goal was to establish a forum dedicated to dialogue and prevent conflict. Similarly, the Washington Treaty of 1949, 70 years ago this year, founded the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO, from the very beginning, has been a defensive alliance committed to vision of a Europe whole, free, and at peace. Fast forward half a century, it was June 1999. United Nations Security Council Resolution 1244 established the Kosovo Force as an international security presence authorized to establish a safe and secure environment for all the people of Kosovo. We can look back with satisfaction that KFOR has done just that. KFOR is NATO's largest operation in Europe. It remains in Kosovo today as a force that helps guarantee a safe and secure environment and freedom of movement for all communities. It helps protect ancient holy places which represent the shared heritage not only of the Balkans, but of the world. In doing so, we have helped to give practical effect to the 1990s peacemakers' vision of tolerant, inclusive, multi-ethnic Balkan societies. But this has not been achieved without cost. Our attention today, rightly so, is on the sacrifice of KFOR's fallen. 213 personnel lost in different operations throughout this particular theater in the last 20 years. They came from around the world, 28 NATO and partner nations. These brave men and women deployed to Kosovo in the service of peace for these last 20 years. This morning, with General Daddario, I had the pleasure of unveiling a monument to remember them. Those are fallen comrades. The solid rock of which it is made is as firm as our continued commitment to this place. The monument will stand as a permanent reminder of our sisters and brothers in arms who made the ultimate sacrifice. Their sacrifice has been an essential contribution to one of NATO's greatest achievements since the end of the Cold War, helping restore peace and security throughout the Balkans at times when a return to conflict might have seemed inevitable. This in turn has facilitated the accession to the alliance of 4 Western Balkan states, Slovenia, Albania, Croatia, and Montenegro, during the same 2 decades. And we look forward to welcoming a 5th, North Macedonia, as our newest member, the 30th ally in this year of NATO's 70th anniversary. We hope that these states which aspire to join will continue to make progress and that we can continue to broaden and deepen our dialogue and our partnerships as part of a joint effort, finally to fulfill our vision of Europe, whole, free, and at peace. While we commemorate the sacrifice of our fallen, we also reflect on how a NATO-led operation helped end the last Balkan conflict which disfigured post-Cold War Europe. Just as there are competing histories of these conflicts and mixed reviews on the comprehensive deals which ended them, so too do this year's anniversaries carry different meanings for different constituencies in the Balkans. There are those who feel their identity is identified or defined by one side or another of the conflict. There are those who were belligerents, and there were those who are victims. And there are those who have grown up since with no direct memory of the events, which can still be used to shape their future and their present. In this year of many anniversaries, I want to congratulate this new generation on 20 years of peace in which they came of age. And I want to commend their efforts to build a better future with their neighbors, with fellow Europeans, and with the world. Such a future has been made possible in part by the period of continuous presence NATO has helped ensure. This should be the legacy we give to the post-conflict generations. Together, I think we are all committed to European security and promoting peace in Europe and beyond. This is our continuing mandate for our children and our youth. Ladies and gentlemen, as we mark KFOR-i, I encourage all of us to reflect. Yes, it's time to remember, and it's also time to move forward into a peaceful and prosperous Europe. Thank you very much for your attention, and God bless.
Dear guests, in all of our activities, operations, training, or administrative, KFOR strives for the achievement of excellence to promote the peaceful development of Kosovo. We now recognize some of our personnel who have distinguished themselves in the pursuit of excellence in the execution of their duties. These soldiers embody the professional and courageous spirit required for mission success and are standing ambassadors for both KFOR and their countries. The following soldiers will be awarded their non-Article 5 medals by COM JFC Naples. Colonel Sławomir Pepłanski, Poland. Major Espen Fossen, Norway. Major Donna Wu, USA. Warrant Officer Eleni Bajuka, Greece. Warrant Officer Alessandro Schiattino, Sergeant Major Turkey. Sergeant Major Tom Mahan, Ireland.
Hooray! Attention! Take post!
Ladies and gentlemen, Kosovo's lower airspace is still owned by KFOR. Our capable air units will now execute a dynamic flight display for you. The pilots will demonstrate their substantial capability that is operationally utilized daily in Kosovo. We rely on them for airspace dominance, Kosovo-wide operational reach, and to provide rapid 24-hour medical evacuation cover. They are one of our biggest force multipliers. The helicopter formation is led by the Mi-8 medium transport helicopter flown by the Croatian Armed Forces. It is followed by the Swiss Super Puma medium transport helicopter. The third and final aircraft is the multi-purpose Black Hawk helicopter. In a few seconds, we'll have another flyover. This is known as the pilot's greeting, which is a pass at high speed with a hard turn over the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this display of KFOR's air movement skills. The parade commander will now report to the commander of the NATO Joint Forces Command, Naples, and request permission to dismiss the formation. This formal act closes the 20th